Hi, my name is Carlos Trujillo, and I'm a professional off-road racer from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and CEO of Instrumental LLC. I own a 1450 Pro Truck, and I race in the Pro UTV class as well. I've been on TV many times, multiple interviews highlighting my talents. I've raced in the 2018 and 2019 World Championship, finishing as high as 8th in my class. I've been able to work with great partners along the way, and I'm truly blessed when it comes to off-road racing. If you want to know the steps it takes to be a professional off-road racer, this is what it takes. Hey, welcome to Racing Secrets and Tips. I'm your host, Carlos Trujillo. Today we're going to be talking about doing your homework. It's mandatory. This is stuff that you have to do no matter what. There's no way around this one. You have to do your homework when it comes to people, when it comes to the groups, when it comes to the products, the representatives, the other race teams, the racers themselves out there, and also the leagues, the rules, the specs. There's a lot that comes to doing your homework. You're not going to get anywhere without doing your homework. 95% of racing is doing your homework outside of the track. And this is really what it takes. You can't get away from this. So these are things, that you're going to have to do. So let me break it down for you guys just to get started. The people. There's going to be famous people that you have to figure out who they are. If you come across somebody and you don't know who that person is, look it up. We live in the day and age that you look it up right then and there. You turn your back for a second, you look it up on your phone, whatever it takes. You know that there's people out there that are already doing this, and you have to use them similar to a blueprint, but also you have to be able to relate to them if you want to be at the same level with them. You have to be able to really, associate and look that you're the part and know that you're the part. And you want to know who these people are. You have to do your homework on this. There's volunteers, there's famous people, there's online personalities that they have a big following online, but they're not really that relevant on winning or being at the track. You want to know who's in person and who's there. You want to talk to them. That when you come across these people, you got to be able to figure out who's who. The groups of people are the same way. There's famous online groups. There's people that have a huge following, a huge presence, and it doesn't really mean anything when it comes to being a champion. It doesn't mean anything when it comes to anything else but selling merchandise for them, basically, and having a different goal. They're not being champions. That's really what it boils down to. You're gonna see these people in line, in person, and registration and drivers meetings, and you're gonna be out at the races at the booth space, and you're gonna run into all these people. You're gonna see these groups, and you're gonna have to do your homework on them. You're gonna know if you want to associate with them, or if you want to do business with them, if that's the style that you are, if that's where you fit in the mold of everything, and you relate to those people, then by all means help each other out. But if it distracts you from where your goals are, and you not knowing where your goals are, these people will help you sell their products rather than help you with your own goals. And you have to just do your homework and know where you stand and know your goals ahead of time. And there's big ones, there's small ones, there's huge organizations of people out there, and they help each other. You have to have the promotional groups out there, and that's a lot of getting the knowledge of the products, the knowledge of the racers, the race teams. Everybody can't do it alone. So it's a team effort out there, and you have to align yourselves with the right people, and that comes with doing your homework, knowing who these people are, knowing their background of their just out of their garage, or if they're a real pro team. You have to do your homework on this kind of stuff. A lot of that has to do with the knowledge of products. If you are aligned with the right products, and the history of these products, the competition that is trying to compete against these products with similar products, your space in the market, why you're backing these people and why they're backing you and why you're using their components on your car. It has everything to do with winning. If you're not going to be able to be really knowledgeable of the products that are on your vehicle, then you're not going to win races. You have to do your homework on that. I mean, there's no way around that. You have to know your car inside and out. And once you get out there and knowing these products, you got to start to learn the owners of at least the representatives of these products. You have to go to the booth vendors. You have to talk to salesmen. You have to get your foot in the door to be able to even get to the top level of being sponsored, of being on their radar. It's not going to happen any other way. You have to do your homework. And it's going to take a little bit of time. And you don't want to go out there and bug people if you don't have your homework done, because they're going to get to that point where, okay, well, what can you bring to the table, or what's going on now? And you're not going to know what to say if you haven't done your homework, or if you don't know anything about their product. You have to be prepared. And that has a lot to do with taking a little bit of time, and you got to build your brand and do what you do. And speaking of which, if you guys can hit the like, the share, the subscribe, notifications, please, I'd appreciate that. And all the other people out there, there's racers, there's giant famous racers, and you don't want to be the person that doesn't know who that big name racer is, and you're out there trying to compete against that person. You have to do your homework on why they're successful, on what it took for them to be able to be at that point. And there's online people, there are the people that are going to be, in line, in person, again, out at the racetrack. You're going to see them in the pits. You're going to have enough background information on them that you've done your homework, that you're not being foolish, and you could actually consider talking business, or even just talking race stuff that's going on the track, and really have a cool conversation with some of these really famous racers that are willing to, they're out there on the same track doing the same thing that you're doing, and it's fun to relate to other people and talk to them. And once you know who these people are and you've done your homework, you can walk up and just hang out, and you're another racer, one racer to another. Just, you become in that inner circle of knowledge, the inner circle of what went on the track during the race. And it's cool because it's just a couple of people hanging out, having fun, and loving what they do, having fun at their job. And it's really big. And there's a lot of other teams out there. Once you get to know the racers, you get to know their teams, who their fan base is, who their sponsors are, if they're going to mesh with the type of vibe that you're trying to have and you're projecting with your team and the people around you, or maybe it's the whole opposite and you need to stay away from them. That's why you got to do your homework. It's super important to know what teams to associate with and what teams not to associate with, depending on where you stand and what you do. Everybody's different, and that's your discretion on that one. If you have any questions, any comments, this is a process. It's a lengthy process of doing your homework, and doing your homework never stops, no matter at the top level or at the bottom level. It actually gets more intense, just like you're in graduate school or something, that you have to be able to really see what's going to happen with the market, see what's going to happen with the race leagues, see what's going to happen with all the other teams, the people working for you, all of that. It gets even more in depth, way more in depth, the farther on you go. And, if you have any questions, anything like that, please hit me up in the comments, guys. The leagues and the league owners and the names of where you want to race at, you have to do your homework on all of that. You have to make sure that you know where you want to race and how far you want to take your career. If you're trying to go all the way to the top, you look for the top leagues and you look at where it's going to be, what it's going to take. You get to the venues, you start talking to the people, you get there, and you work your way into a pit, you work your way into knowing more knowledge about where you want to race at and doing your homework on those leagues. And once you get to the point of where you are going to be able to race at those leagues, you have to be able to know the rules, you have to know the specs, the standards, what the winners are doing, and kind of blueprinting of what it's going to take, on that whole level. Once you really start being competitive and adapting to new rules and having a fluctuating system of things going on where you have backup plans and you're able to really know that everything is taken care of. You've done your homework and you're good, you're solid. And at these events, there's a lot of timing that goes on. That has, like I was saying, the homework keeps getting more and more in depth. You have to know the registration, what time the driver's meetings are, when you can tech your vehicles. You have to, when the staging for before the race. So if you're not at staging at the right time, you're going to miss your whole race after you've already done all of that. And because you didn't do your homework, come on. That's just part of your homework. That's stuff you have to do. You have to know that stuff. You have to look up on the websites. You have to look up on any way, shape, or form. If you get to the racetrack or to tech inspection or any of that kind of stuff, and you're trying to ask, the officials those kinds of questions, they're gonna look at you like, come on, get out of here, get out of line, go do your homework. Go check the website. It's wasting everybody's time because you're a professional racer at that point. You got to keep doing your homework. You have to. There's no way around that. And just to wrap it up, guys, about doing your homework, you learn from the people, you learn who the people are, you learn the groups, everyone out there, who's famous, who's who, the volunteers. You do your homework to the point that you know who they are with their Facebook, you know who they are by talking to them, or even just, seeing them pass by and you're asking about them. And, you start looking them up afterwards. And you figure all that out. You learn where you want to race. You find the right race organization that's right for you, where you're going to fit and where you can budget and what's close to where you live, at least to just get started. Depending on your budget, everybody's is different. But you find out, just learn little things of who's racing that vehicle you found on YouTube and where they are racing it at. And then from there, you start to get, you learn, who's in those groups, who's out there, what's going on. You start to know the product knowledge of what they're using. You start to be able to get to the events and talk to these representatives, talk to the people at the vending space, at the booth space, anyone online that you can ask questions, in forums or comment sections like this. Be able to really learn and know why these people are fast, why that league is the way that league is, and what makes it an elite class of racers. And, you start to learn the race teams. You start to learn the racers. Each one individually. You kind of start to do your homework and, see their videos or their Instagrams or anything like that. You just start to little by little. You kind of work your way in with knowledge, doing your homework. Consistently doing something that you love to do anyway. It's not even like doing your homework. You're learning about this stuff. And, you learn their teams, you learn their sponsors. And then, of course, once you get to the point of racing, and you're on a race team, you're working in the pits, or you're able to drive, and have your own team and maybe build a UTV or something like that, you have to know the league rules. You have to know the specs. You have to know everything of the guidelines of, the standards of, are you going to get thrown out for not having the right safety equipment and all that. All of the homework that comes along with that. It's going to keep ramping up and keep ramping up. And we'll do more videos on that, down the road. This is just basically an outline of what you need to do to start your homework. That's going to be once we get into graduate level stuff. And I'll make sure that you guys know what to do and where to go. And, you get to the timing of the events. You want to know that you're there on time, that you're not missing anything because you didn't do your homework and all of that. We're going to start going off that, that's a huge deep end that we're going to jump into. And that's going to be a whole another series that you guys will know 3-4 episodes that it's going to take with all that kind of stuff. But I've done it. I've been there. I've done my homework. It's taken me years. There was times that I didn't want to do my homework. There was times that I wanted to do so much work, it was burning me out. And you start to find a medium and a happy place of you remembering that you are doing this because this is what you love. It's still a job. It's a fun job, but it's still a job. You still have to do your homework. And if you're going to beat everybody else out there that's in the same position that you're in, that has the same opportunity, that wants it just as bad as you do, you have to do more homework than they do. You have to beat everyone at this game. And this is what it takes, guys. I've been there. These are real racing diaries. I'm a real racer. It's taken me a long time. This is what it takes.
My style. My style. My style. My style. My style.
Make sure to check us out on Instagram under #InstrumentalLLC. If your company needs any testing or feedback for your product or advertising, contact Instrumental LLC And thank you for your time for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed.